The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast. It's all good. Mic check. We are live in full effect. Oh my God, young guy, we back in the building. Young guy took a vacation and my ass said, fuck it. See, we taking a vacation too.
Hey, it was nothing wrong with it. I needed it.
Yeah, I was like, you know what?
I appreciate it.
My ankles is going to be like, thank you, God.
No, for real.
You know what I'm saying? We had to come down them steps. I was like, I ain't even come down here. I had some things to do. I was like, you know what? Good job, young guy. You forced the vacation on everybody.
Yeah, speaking of ankles, I ain't going to hold you. I had so much fun at the event that we did, the female or the Kings versus Queens rap battle. But let me tell you, Fly Girl's ankles was like, I had none. It was legs and feet after that. So
straight cankle, just straight down.
Straight cankle. So them weeks off, appreciate you.
It's all good, man. And the crazy part is I thought of so many ladies and so many songs to play after the fact. I'm like, I just got to go do an old lady set now because I was like, no, I forgot. We could have went crazy. But, you know.
But it was cool, though.
It's all good. We got the next one coming up.
Yes.
R&B version. We might do some little errors in there, too. You know, throw it back for a little bit, see what's happening.
Now, that's my lane.
Oh, yeah.
R&B.
Didn't you do a Beyonce versus Rihanna?
Yeah, last year I did a lot of verses. And so we did the Bay versus Ree. I think I did Kendrick versus Cole.
Oh yeah, you did.
I forgot who else I did, and did some other ones. You remember? I don't even remember. I did a Nas and Jay-Z.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fire.
It was like
that was like the first versus one.
Tiny House.
Yep. So yeah, man, we keeping them coming. Stay on the lookout for your boy. It's something every week, either in town or out of town. Still got to book my Nashville. Got to get my guy on the phone. yes, man. We are here in full effect, man. Welcome to the Streets A&R Podcast. It's your host, Giddy Jicky with it,
and I'm your girl, CLB.
She said, it used to be it's your girl. Look, we done got rusty.
It's mine, yo, ours.
I'm going to mess up the ending. Trust me, them ending credits going to be bad.
Oh, gosh.
Man, it feel like we've been gone forever, man. We back. We got young God in the building, fresh from Mexico, not playing no games.
Yes. Came in with the tan.
And the legal drinking age is 18. You was lit, wasn't you? I already know. We're gonna ask later. It's all good, man. We appreciate everybody coming, man. Yeah. Today we got a special guest in the house, and you're gonna see him twice. But today we're gonna talk business first.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk business. We got, what was the award he won? 40 under 40 in the city, in the state. I'm gonna say the region. How about that? 40 under 40 in the region of Omaha.
Yes.
A trailblazer, somebody who's extremely malleable, that will pick up the job and run with it, but sprint with it like he's Sha'Carri Richardson. This version of Sha'Carri, not the one that lost. This version.
Master choreographer,
budding, professional programmer, an event. I don't even got the words.
Creative philanthropist.
Yes. We got our guy, man, coming here representing the illustrious Omaha Performing Arts, Mr. Aaron Gregory. Hey.
And representing himself.
Well, we gonna get to himself later.
Yes.
This is the professional.
I just had to say
he is himself. He just works there.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all. That was a beautiful, beautiful introduction.
We were trying to give you Club Shay Shay vibes.
I don't bet it. This is the Club Shay Shay. We got 3-time Grammy winner. I'm like, man, why are you talking like this, Shan? Come on.
Or Cam Newton.
Yeah.
One of those.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, man. Cam.
Oh, thank you for having me for sure.
Yeah.
To converse and, see what's happening down here.
Oh, yeah, man. We appreciate you coming through. I did, for this portion of our conversation, really want to gear towards some of the cool things that you are directly involved in with one of the biggest arts organization in the state, and your role there at Omaha Performing Arts. So just tell the people real quick, like, what is it that you do, and as an org, what is Omaha Performing Arts as an organization?
Yes.
Absolutely. So I am the community engagement manager, and I basically manage all of the cultural engagement programming, starting with the Hip Hop Lab, which is our newest program, Voices Amplified, which is about 5 years old, Arts Access, which is a free ticketing program for those who are in 501c3s that deal with marginalized communities, underserved people as well, and then Curtain Warmers, where we bring in local acts to do certain sets before certain shows in our present series. So yeah, with those programs, it's a lot of cultural connections. It's a lot of getting out into the community and making sure that we know that art is for everybody. The Holland Center, the Holland Family Campus now, which comprises of the Holland Center, Steelhouse, our newest building, which will be up in Spring 26, Tanaska Center for Arts Engagement, and then Orpheum. A lot of people feel like, oh, it's downtown. Oh, that's fancy. Oh, boom, boom, boom. I can go there or I can't go there. That was the staple for a long time. People feeling like that's not for me. What do I need to be down there for? But part of my job is to demystify and just tear that up and just say, no, we're not only going to create programming for you, but we're going to bring it to you as well, because it's important. And while doing that, involving local artists, people that are doing the work here as well, making sure that you are a part of what we're doing. So then that way you can see that only is this space for you, but this space welcomes you. So in Omaha Performing Arts, as you said, we are the largest arts nonprofit in the state of Nebraska. Through our education and programs, we've served almost over 1 million people over the past 20 years with our Nebraska High School Theater Academy, soon to be Nebraska Theater Academy. Just a little name change. What else, man? We've just those education programs alone, we have like 15. From Wolf Trap to Jazz Academy to Musical Explorers, Disney musicals in schools, and then we have our Present series where we're bringing in artists. We have a lot of co-pros that we may do with people. So a lot of different arts, a lot of different acts, from dance to music to jazz to now hip hop being a new added genre to that mix. We have a lot of comedians and a lot of gospel and country. We kind of get as many artists as we can to come through our venues. Not to mention we are the Broadway house of Nebraska. So, well, one of them, there's one in Lincoln as well. But yeah, we are like one of the main ones. So OPA is big. You know what I'm saying? It's big for real. And it's cool to serve there. But we can get into that, even how I even landed there. But yeah.
Yeah, like it has a lot of tentacles, it seems like, in there. And even growing a new one. But before we go to that newest leg, you were just mentioning, like, how did you even get roped into this organization? Like, I know you're into the arts, but now this is like, it's not like I'm doing the arts. Like, no, I have a professional job. Now my job is to help the arts progress. So how did you get into that, and what does it mean to be in a position to be the pusher or the progressor for some of the arts that you're involved in?
Well, I definitely always give credit to the Lord and Savior, the great G himself. No, I'm just God, man. God sent me home, bro. Like, I was a freelance teaching artist for dance in Atlanta and New York for about 7 years, and life was just not getting any better. And finally, I had a therapist appointment, and he told me, like, hey, it's okay to go home. I was sitting on his tile floor. There were chairs in the room, but I was sitting on the floor pouting because I didn't want to come back here. Like, what? There's nothing for me, right? What is
come back, right? And come back as loud as you left. Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, I finally had to just submit, and when I did, I met. I knew her. She was my sister's dance teacher. Shout out to Janine Scott. She was at Omaha Performing Arts for a while, head of HR, and she was just like, hey, I know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I hear that you got a passion. I get that, but you don't have to starve because of it. Like I have a full-time job and I have my passion project, which was her studio, formerly I Am Dance. And she was just like, you can have both. And you probably should start exploring it. And she tossed me an opportunity before to go teach somewhere in Washington. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. The second time I was like, all right, I can't keep being honorary. Like I got to fold because I'm living out of a Jeep at this point. That wasn't even mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what brought me back here was just like, you know what? I need to go home to recalibrate, to really get back on a good foot. And I came back home 2 days before my 30th birthday. And you know, Jenny and I had a plan in place. She was just like, trust me, I got you. I had to get my first little stepping stone job at the Omaha Symphony. Shout out to everyone over there. Just learning how to work in an office environment. Because I did freelance in the field for so long. Like, I didn't have those basic office skills. So that helped me. And then the pandemic happened, furloughed. And they, you know, they helped me as long as they could. But, you know, of course, everything going on, the symphony is smaller than, you know, the Omaha Performing Arts, so their team is smaller. So they were just like, you know, we got to let you go, but, you know, we love you and we wish everything's work out once, you know, we're able to get back into the offices. But then the position opened up right for me, and they had been planning for me to get over at OPA, and then it happened. So originally I started as a Disney Musicals and Schools teaching artist while I was at the symphony, and then through the pandemic, I became a community engagement specialist. 2021. Couple years, and then last year I was promoted to manager, and it was just like, wow. So, you know, I learned that arts admin was a thing. A lot of people don't know that arts administration is a thing. Like, as an artist, you feel like, oh man, all I can do is either perform, and then they throw that nasty cuss, right?
You can do it.
Okay. I should have asked before that, my bad. Like, they put that nasty ass quote of for those who can't do teach. It's like, absolutely not. I'm like, no, like, it's terrible. Like, if you can't do it, you just go teach then. First of all, I have a whole master's in teaching, so let's talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can teach and I can teach well, but this is a choice. It's not something I failed to do because I couldn't perform. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that all being said, you know, using those realms together is like, okay, arts admin is a space for you too. Like, if you love to draw, but you don't want to be in corporate, you can do it for an arts organization. Right. If you are great with finance, but you don't want to be in, you know, you don't want to work for Fortune 500 companies, but you're still connected to the arts. Like, it's something a little bit more freeing about I'm in an area that I actually love. And it's still hard work. Yeah. It's still hard, but I'd rather these challenges that I get to choose versus the ones that I'm being forced.
Yeah. And I kind of want to take a little bit of a step back, you know, with you bringing up that, you know, you had that conversation with your therapist about trying to make that decision of like coming home, because I think not too many people, well, at least people who haven't left and come back, don't really understand the mental turmoil that you go through, especially when you left your hometown, right, to like make impact somewhere else, and you've given all you got, right?
Yeah.
So can you kind of like unpack the spiritual journey that you went through within that time period? Because of course you're talking to mentors, you're talking to people who understand how you're feeling, but a lot of times those words from those individuals don't really mean nothing, because at the end of the day, you possess in your heart what your mission is, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like, what was that spiritual journey, and what was like that aha moment where you was like, okay, this is what I need to do?
I briefly mentioned it, but when I got to the point of where I was sleeping out of my friend's car that he was letting me borrow, that's when I was like, I think I hit my low. Like, you know, thank God I was a dance fitness teacher. I was between 3 gyms, so I had access to showers, you know what I'm saying? Like, staying on people's floors, their couches. For me, that journey was, I know I want to do dance. I know I like teaching dance, but I don't know where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why this hasn't worked out. Like, I was teaching up to 10 classes in Atlanta, but I still was not making enough money to even have an apartment, you know what I'm saying? Or even rent out a room. And it was literally the grace of God of people and their kindness. So shout out to everybody that let me stay with them for short periods of time. You know, I had 2 long stays for like 9 months. And then in between those like short stays of like a couple weeks or a month or whatever, And then until I finally left, a good friend of mine, she was like, we were teaching a class together. She was like, you can stay with me for 2 weeks until we figure it out. 2 weeks turned into a month, and a month turned into, I just like you, so you can just stay.
Right.
And it was great. You know what I'm saying? Like we had a lot of similarities. We both love God. We both love what we did. We both were actively auditioning, teaching, and taking class. And, I helped her out with her daughter sometimes. Brindley was 2, you know what I'm saying? So I helped, Jesse with that. And like, it was great. But I think for me, even having that space of peace in that moment from a living standpoint, I was just like, yeah, like I just don't know where I'm going. And, it was after hearing that from my therapist, who I trusted, like he was real cool. I was washing clothes at a laundromat and I was listening to a T.D. Jakes sermon, and he was talking about how the mother eagle, how she like stirs up her nest for the babies to get out. And clear as day, I hear God just as clear as I hear y'all. And it's in the most quietest form sometimes. And he was just like, you did what you were supposed to do in Atlanta the first time. So what you guys don't know is I went to Morehouse College, proud Morehouse man, graduated 2011 with a bachelor's in sociology. And I was a Gates Millennium Scholar, so I earned a full ride to attend there and graduate debt-free. I used that scholarship to go to NYU. Finished with my degree and my master's in dance education, and then I started my career. But at some point, I got really sick in New York. I developed asthma out there, and I was like, yo, it's time to go because I almost died. It was like, my mom was like, so when are you leaving? Because this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I left, and bringing it back to that Eagles Nest moment, I had a choice between Atlanta, Omaha, or LA. I can go somewhere brand new I've never been before, where I know dance is going to be. I can go somewhere that I know and I feel like, it's a little comfy, or I can go somewhere that I just don't want to be or I don't want to be at. And I chose Atlanta. And I learned very quickly that adult Atlanta was not the same as college Atlanta was. I lived in places I ain't never seen before as a college student. You know what I'm saying? All aspects of Atlanta, the nooks and the crannies I saw in those 3 years. Hell in a handbasket. You know what I'm saying? To this day, we're like, would you move back? God would have to send me himself. Right. Just like I said, a guy would have to send me home himself.
No, physically, you have to airlift.
Literally.
Airlift your boy.
Literally.
As I'm fighting the cloud. My nigga.
Exactly. Atlanta is great for homecoming. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I'm good on it. So that Eagles Nest moment was like, okay, the nest was stirred up because you already did what you're supposed to do here the first time.
Right.
When you left New York, maybe you should have just went home and then started fresh there. Who knows where you would have been now? You know what I'm saying? But everything happens for a reason. And I know that I came when I was supposed to because it all just happened to line up. But you know what I'm saying? I knew I picked Atlanta because it was easy.
Right.
Never do that in those spiritual decisions. Pick what's easy. No, what's easy, what's going to trap you.
Yes, yes. No, I love that story, and I love hearing your background too. And like, with all that being said, you getting into arts administration, you working with Omaha Performing Arts. Like Eric said, you are operating all these tentacles within OPA. I'm sure when you left Omaha was one way versus when you came back, right? It's progressed a lot. And coming back into that, like, what strategies do you use to make sure like you're bringing in all four corners and making them aware of these programs that are happening at OPA, and also like making them feel welcome? Because as you mentioned, we're talking about prime downtown Omaha, where typically, certain communities aren't used to seeing their own faces in these spaces if they've even touched this part of the land. Yeah. So how do you bring everybody together?
Relationships are my superpower. Well, professionally, we're not going to talk about romantic.
Kryptonite.
Woo! Yeah, professionally, relationships are my superpower. Shout out to Marcy. He was my first go at, I knew of his space because he lived around the corner from where my mom lived. I was still with her before I got my own space. And something in me was just like, and I know it was Holy Spirit, was like, go talk to Marcy and just begin. Like, just go talk to him and see what can we do. And I went up there, not having ever met him before. It was very bold of me. It was very interesting that the fact that I still did that.
It was that big city.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Yeah, like, okay, why not? Just go. Boom, boom, boom. So I went and, I was like, yo, I would love to talk with you. I'm new here. I'd love to see what we can do together. And, he shared his honest thoughts with me about how he felt, about how, he felt like OPA was a big shark that, needs to share and all these different things. And, I had let him know, like, this is a part of the reason why I'm here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To show you that I'm extending a branch on behalf of this organization to show you that we want to do work with you. And from that moment, I not only did I say it, I showed up. I attended his events. I pointed people towards his events, and we partnered with him having a couple events at his space, connecting our audiences. And that's one way, is learning, like, you got to show up for people and really, create these conversations. Even with, with Eric, we met quite a few times, either just being out in the city, and then I realized he had a brand, like, oh, you frat, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, so we've had many conversations, and still showing him, like, okay, I'm gonna show up, you know what I'm saying? Not because I want something out of you, but just because I value you. And I think when you show people that you value them and you value their time and what they're offering, then conversation can be had. Right. If there's if nothing can happen out of that, but just a conversation, like, okay. But at the same time, from right now, because I didn't have much to leverage as my first year as a specialist, a couple years ago, all I had was my time to offer. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I started it, was just like, okay, going to meet with these different communities, these different people, and just be personable, be Aaron, just ask them how they're doing, ask about what they're doing, what can I do to help, if possible. If I can't help, you know what I'm saying? Like, just trying to do that, you know what I'm saying? Y'all see me, like, on social, I have no problem hyping up and sharing everybody's stuff. Right.
That's what I love. That is what I love about you, because it could be a major program, right? And the facilities that's hosting it, the partnering organizations that's a part of it could be promoting it, and you don't see, any traction. But let you post it, and it gets amazing coverage. But we're seeing that happen because you are the voice of the people. You're promoting to the audiences that want to see this type of stuff, right? Yeah. But because these organizations, I won't say they haven't done their due diligence in making sure that they reach these audiences, sometimes one doesn't know what they don't know. So having somebody like you who can, hey, you know what I mean? Literally the voice of the people. Like, I love seeing that. I love seeing the engagement behind what you put out.
It's important, and it's something that so I mentioned earlier that the Hip Hop Lab, and we have a new artistic advisor, D Prosper, out of Brooklyn, who's founder and co-director of Soul in the Horn. Like, the man is legend, literally, and he was talking to us about, as it pertains to marketing and getting people into our spaces, to make sure we have the people there. We put, like, one thing that I'm gonna take a slight tangent. One thing that people don't realize when it comes to doing anything programming wise, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effing time. I don't like to use the F-bomb a lot, but I always say that. I was like, I'm gonna hold it just a little bit. It takes a lot of time and mental. Like, it takes a lot of energy to think about the event, to call and meet with all the people, to budget, to work within a budget, work without a budget, to promote the event, to make sure that the event is running together. And that's just planning it before you actually are there on site the day of and afterwards. All of that happened, and I'm in an organization where we are, like, literally hashing out these things, multiple, and you've seen it, multiple in a week.
Literally. On top of other programming that's not even within your department.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is a big thing in itself. But one thing that D Prosper was talking about, when it pertains to, like, getting connected with the community, is, like, lean on those people who have that voice. And, shout out to, Raquel Henderson. She's another person who we had a camp sampler for our Hip Hop Lab camps that we're doing. In addition to having performances from artists, we also have culture talks, which are kind of like TED Talks with artists about different topics of the elements of hip hop and hip hop culture. But then we also have camps and classes. We're having camps right now. We'll have a 3-day camp coming up. But the camp sampler was back in February, and we were trying to really get the word out about it. Raquel shared one of my posts. I shared did I do? Yeah, I did it myself. I shared the post. Raquel shared what I shared, and she got 54 reshares. And I promise you, when I looked at the zip codes of these kids that signed up for this, it was 68111, 68110, and I know that because I grew up over there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like having that person, and she's always posting stuff about jobs that are available and all this, like those community voices. And Omaha is a Facebook city. That is where people go to know what
the drama, the relationships,
the to-dos.
Like that is where you're gonna find out what's going on. So it's like when we have these artists come in, like what is there to do? Just add me on Facebook. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like so, having a person like that, and I appreciate you. The acknowledgement of voice of the people. I care about my community, and even the highest VPs, including Joan, my president herself, Aaron. Everybody. It is like. Yeah. I do know a lot of people. I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they value what I say, and that's something I don't take for granted. So it's like, okay, utilizing that and making sure that they know, one, this place is for you. We're doing our best to make sure that it is, you know what I'm saying, to the best of my ability. So,
right. Yeah. And you also understand the element of impact, right? Because most would think, oh, okay, you're in arts. Or one person would think I'm in arts. Let me connect with another arts person and share what we're doing. No, it's literally all about community.
Yeah.
And you just never know who you're going to touch. As long as you're staying in contact and having those relationships with those individuals like Raquel and stuff like that. Because again, like you heard, so many other people are in those depths of the community that need to be reached. Yeah.
And they also have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know Raquel is a mother. She always talks about her adventures with her children, and like, she might be looking for something, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, oh, I'll get him signed up next year when he's old enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not just looking just to be sharing, just rant. Like, they're also looking, because they understand, like, I got friends that got kids that might want to do something like this. Like, this is tight. You know what I'm saying? Like, let that, again, the impact. Yeah. Like somebody, each one, reach one, teach one. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you just never know. And I think with the big organizations, even speaking from within my own house at OPA, the challenge with marketing, especially with social media, is sometimes you just don't know where it's going to land. And I've seen and watched my organization post stuff, and people's like, I didn't see it.
Right.
I didn't know what was going on. And the algorithm is, I'm saying the algorithm is trash. You know what I'm saying? But I also tell people outside of, OPA and other stuff that I do as well, stop relying on social media to get your word out.
Right.
Go and have those conversations. Go and take your flyers. Word of mouth will always work.
Yes.
You have to go talk to people about what you're doing and why.
Yes. And them hip hop flyers is all through North.
Okay.
Liquor store, gas station.
Right. Exactly.
Dropping them off.
Right. When I remember for the Invoke thing, like I remember where I was. Was I at Johnny T's? I may have been at Johnny T's. I came out and there was a flyer in my window shield. And I was like, who was even out here? You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's, again, that stuff works in it because it makes you think like, what is this? Oh, boom, 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 boom. Social media, we're all like scrolling so damn fast that you may like it, but that doesn't call you to action.
Seriously. And then even like from a deeper marketing aspect of it, people forget that it's those back end marketing efforts that go into social media rather than just those like organic static posting, right? When you start digging into audience behaviors, zip codes, all that type of stuff, you can literally plug that in the right way and let it run and let it operate as its own advertisement. But like you said, the programs, not saying not all programs matter, because all programs matter, but specifically to the cultural programs, it does get lost in the algorithm, because if a majority of that organization's following is an audience that tends to go to, I don't know, Broadway more, right? Then everything else is just kind of going to get filtered down. And most people in the communities that you're trying to impact aren't even following that organization to stay up to date as to what's going on. And half of them don't even know that all of these venues operate together under this OPA umbrella, Yeah.
A lot of people still call OPA the Holland Center.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And essentially it is. The official name, Omaha Performing Arts, at the Holland Performing Arts Center.
Right.
But a lot of people, like Houston does it. He's like, oh, the Highland Center. Y'all at the Highland Center, we had to tell them because we were doing promo for the camp. It's OPA. You know what I'm saying? He's just like, okay, now he said, now I got to change it. I got to change the whole spiel. And it's funny, but it's like, again, it's just that information. Again, they're only responding to what they know and what they're familiar with. And it's on both ends. You know what I'm saying? And me being an entrepreneur myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's on both ends. Like, I can't rely on my audience to just respond to everything I put out. I have to go to them, but also put it on them too. If we put all this information on here and you calling us and emailing us about where it's happening and why, but everything is on there, people don't like to read stuff.
No, nobody likes
People gotta remember that posting is not marketing.
That's a word.
Like, if I was to go into y'all's building and ask what are actually right now for video content, what are the marketing trends? Because it's no longer the green screen. If you're paying attention. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they might not even know it was the green, but y'all never use the green screen to talk over your, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's those things and having your pulse on the culture that you're intending to impact and and this is a business. So it's about marketing from a business aspect, whether you like it or not is irrelevant.
Right.
What does the market, your target market, what are they doing? How are they behaving? What do they want to see? And you go from there.
Yeah.
So it's just really, while you're there, you have to hammer that in, like, as you especially prepare for this, second season and getting things going. And speaking of second seasons, you mentioned the Hip Hop Lab, but I want you to talk more in depth about what is Hip Hop Lab and how did it come about and what is its importance? Because we know OPA for classical music, for Broadway.
Right.
Yeah.
But now you got this thing that's supposed to be a real thing.
Yeah.
And hopefully not treated like hip hop has been treated, but more so where hip hop is today. So what is Hip Hop Lab and how did that kind of come about and kind of your role in it?
Yeah, man. So Hip Hop Lab is, like I said, it's our newest program that was literally created to elevate, educate, and amplify the hip hop culture. I used the wrong E because we're not educating it, but neither here nor there. Basically, this program was created to uplift and shine light on what hip hop has already done over the past 50 years. And it just was by happenstance that we launched it during the 50-year anniversary. Like, that was not planned. It was just like, oh, did y'all realize? I don't think y'all knew because I was the only one that knew. August 13th is the 50th birthday. They're like, oh, that's great. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could we turn on this? But anyways, this program was literally built because people within our organization thought it's time that hip hop be highlighted like every other art form that we do. Jazz, bluegrass, country, hip hop has a significant impact on our entire world. And our partners, and by partners, I mean our fellow PACs, Performing Arts Centers, we're not the first to do it. You know what I'm saying? Kennedy Center out in DC, they're doing it. They have an excellent program. And we actually had the opportunity to meet with some of their team and they told us it was tough at first for them too. Because they weren't known for that. So they had to build their audience up from the ground up.
Which is so shocking to hear because you talk about them being positioned like in a place where hip hop was like cultivated, at least within the area.
You would think, but it's because it's the stigma of the venues. It's the stigma of what
branding.
It's
absolutely.
the
branding of them.
Absolutely.
That venue do that.
Absolutely.
And that's what that is. So our program is kind of a combination as we gleaned on the Kennedy Center and then also NJ-PAC. NJ-PAC, they are out of Newark, New Jersey. They are I'm pretty sure the only PAC that has a sole people of color like programming. So like majority of their programming is BIPOC, which I was like, yo, this is like my heart is singing. Like, this is gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's in the heart of Newark. It's accessible. You can easily get to it. And they're in the community. And I know so much about it because I also taught for, I didn't teach, but I worked with Ailey Camp Newark when I lived out in New York. So shout out to Ailey Camp. But we looked at Kennedy Center's programming and we looked at NJ-PAC's camps and classes. And we kind of merged those ideas, talking with them, learning. Literally, like, my VP went out and to go talk to them and see what was actually happening. And we brought this together because in the Midwest, there just isn't another thing from a PAC standpoint like it.
Right.
So we want to be amongst the conversation. But I made it very clear from the beginning, we're not doing this without local people. 1, 2, we're not experts. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we're just not. You know what I'm saying? Even me being a child of hip hop, I'm not as much of an expert as, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know my areas. Like, I can teach you hip hop dance and teach you the genres, the genre, the history, the street styles, all of that. I can teach you that because that dance is my field in it. But when it comes to embodying all of the history and knowing all the different beefs and the commercialization and the channel, all of that stuff, I'm still a student too. So with that being said, we had to bring in someone else. May he rest in peace, Daniel Jones, who was our first artistic advisor. He met up with Andy and they talked, my VP, they talked about what this could be and the potential for something like this in Omaha. And, I wasn't a part of those conversations in the beginning, but once I came on as the community engagement person, it was in the plan for me to come on and start, managing sooner or later, which is happening now. So yeah, the program has a lot of potential for growth. And now that, we've established a council, which is similar to what Kennedy Center has. They have they call a culture council. And we have something similar. But for me, the point of the council was to make sure that we do this authentically, that we are standing on business when we say we're planning with, not for.
Right.
That we are incorporating your all's thoughts and, ideas and suggestions as we're navigating this new space, because we just can't run it like everything else. We have to be very poignant on how we do this, because if we make the wrong turn, that's it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And we're not, I don't want that to happen because it's my people, it's of my culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so to stand on this and, behind the scenes, there are a lot of conversations, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, why is this important? Well, how do we do this? And boom, 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 and boom, boom, boom. This is what the council is for. This is what artistic advisor is for. So ultimately the program is literally built to just bring hip hop to the forefront, to educate audiences that don't know shit about hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It's not all nasty rap music, gangs and gun violence and, strippers and hoes. You know what I'm saying? That's not all that it is. It's literally art. It's film, it's cinematography, it's streetwear, it's, spoken word. It is rapping. It's sometimes it is part, all that stuff is part of it, but that's not all that it is.
Right.
So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what Hip Hop Lab is.
Beautiful. Various forms of expression.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate that explanation. You're lucky because we could get in it, but we can't get in it. We on clock, y'all. Kinda, yes. But when it comes to, you talked about D Prosper now coming in as the advisor and going into this new season coming up, things that are happening, big things happening. What are some of the, I guess, a lesson or two learned in coming out of the first year that y'all are trying to implement as it pertains to Hip Hop Lab and its programming to make sure that it's a step up this next year?
Excellent question, brother. No, man. For me, the number one lesson is consult. Even when I feel like I have the answers, make sure I continue to consult. Because this is something that, my team is looking to me to lead, making sure that I am listening well and standing firm on what I'm like a conduit. So I'm a manager, but I'm a conduit at the same time. And for me, it was like, okay, I have this idea, but now I have people that I can go to and say, hey, what do you think about this? Because you've done something like this before, or, point me in the right direction. So, you know what I'm saying? Like because, that happened, you know what I'm saying? And it's okay. Like it's in the past. I have no problem talking about it. The Black Party, that we did have, I was just happy to get it off the ground. I endured you know what I'm saying, just some challenges, you know, coming into it that a lot of people don't know about. And then, you know, hearing feedback, you know what I'm saying, that this wasn't what it could have been, was just hard. It was hard to hear. It was hard to process. But at the same time, I understood, like, okay, yeah, a block party should be on the block. A block party should have these things. And not that I don't know what a block party looks like, but when you're forced to, and by force, not like saying someone has my hands tied, when you have limited resources to do something, but you're given the power to do it, you make do with what you got. That's a part of our culture as Black people. So for me, it's like, if somebody's trying to come with this energy of like, how dare you do this, knowing dang well you could have boom, 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 boom. Not everyone knows what tools I had to make this happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I had to learn from that experience of taking in that feedback of, one, I'm not my job. Two, again, for me, I stand firm on this is not the day of small beginnings. This was a new thing. Grace and space. I got to figure it out. Let me get my real walking legs. You know what I'm saying? And there are going to be people who are super passionate about it. Passion is desire drunk. That's all that it is. We all got it for whatever thing that we love for. If somebody were to go about something wrong for dance, I would light up hell too. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, that's all that passion is. But receive it, but then go on. So that was the first lesson of just that consult and why. The second thing I would say is, you know, really, really work on those marketing efforts. And, you know, organization-wide, you know, we understand that. You know what I'm saying? We understand that and we're already looking at what can we do to make sure that we're really getting to the people, to get the people here. Because the people that have been coming to the events that we've had, like we had 4 culture talks. Eric led one of them with Curtis Blow, which was phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? It was great to just hear and to see that conversation. And we got the chance to meet him and his wife after the Hip Hop Nutcracker. And he was a delight. Like, he was cool. You know what I'm saying? He could have been talking to us all day. It was his wife that was like, all right. On a bus.
Here we go. Check this out. We got to get to Minneapolis.
Right. We got to go. But it was, you know what I'm saying? We had culture talks that people enjoyed. That they were like, man, I'm so glad that y'all are doing this. But it's, what can we continuously do to increase our audiences? Now, if everyone was just like, yo, this is trash, everyone is just trash, then we're like, okay, yeah, we need to go back to the drawing board. But that hasn't been the case. There are people, and not just, all people, not just, you know, white people who are like, oh my God, that was wonderful. Like, no, like everybody of all ages, races, have come to all the events that we've had and have had good things to say about it and asked for more.
No, seriously, that, as you break that down, and of course I've tried to make every hip hop lab event after the initial one, but thinking back to the first one that was held at Steelhouse, it warmed my heart so much, because seeing all those diverse people from top to bottom, seeing the breakdance challenges and people of all ages circling around these folks, you know what I mean, dancing. You had people there who did not understand what hip hop was, right? But they exactly they showed up, they were happy to be there, they were enthralled with what they were seeing. It just made me so happy, because I was like, I've never seen this, and people show up for this in this city.
Yeah.
So to see that happen that first time, right?
Yeah.
And you continue to implement programming around that and build upon that, like, hats off. Beautiful.
I appreciate that. I do. And like, humbly, I receive that with the same motion. You know what? I'm not even about to do that. I'm going to pause and say thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, for
thank you.
No, I received that flower. Yes, thank you. On another foot, though, understanding, okay, there's still more work to be done.
Yeah.
And again, this was our first round. This was freshman year. If you all remember high school or college, freshman year is always trash. Not always trash, but it's freshman year it's a lot to learn freshman year.
It's filled with a lot of experiences.
Exactly.
But you gain a lot of lessons out of that.
Yes, exactly.
And navigate new waters.
Like exactly.
Yeah.
This is the first of its kind, here. So you have no choice but to ride with the training wheels on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Figure out what screws you need to take out. And then when you keep going, you keep growing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll ask one last question. When you're in an organization and as big as OPA and they have a new initiative like this, something that's literally foreign, how important is it to not only kind of put your feet in the sand, but also help the team around you and above you understand that you have to be malleable and coachable in a place where we have never been. Because I know people think that there are some basics to business in general, but every culture has a different way of doing and aesthetics. So what is it, how important is it to be not only malleable, but also be firm and say, hey, we need to do what's best for this audience and that we said we are trying to reach?
It's so funny. It's just going to sound like cliche, but it's not. Our core values, team, trust, inclusion. There's another one I'm missing. Don't shoot me, Joan. But team, trust, and inclusion, right? My team, specifically, shout out to, affectionately, I call them E2, E squared, education and engagement. I'm the only black man on my team, but I'm not the only I'm not the only person of color. They hear me, they value my voice, and they listen to what I have to say. That is by building trust with them. That's the first thing. Show up, do what you're supposed to do, put your all into work, and they're going to, like, that matters no matter where you are. It doesn't matter who you're working with. If you show yourself worthy by showing up and doing what you're supposed to do, they're going to listen when you have something to say.
Right.
Because we've had conversations, about how important it is and I would tell them this, like, because people have asked me, like, hey, yo, you all right? You doing all right over there? You good? And I'm like, I promise you, I'm okay. I'm good. My team, they support, and not only do they support me, they will go to the bat for me too. That's something that that is a blessing, that everyone doesn't have that.
Your department's lit though. All of their faces popped in my head, and I'm like, he ain't lying about that.
No, they literally, they give me the courage and empower me. Like my direct, oh my gosh. KH, she's also expecting.
Really?
Yes. Yes, she's been in Mama Bear mode ever since too.
Yes.
So, you know what I'm saying? She goes to the bat and she's like, no, if it's important to you, it's important to me, and I'm gonna remind you again why it's important to you. And because of that, that has given me the courage and the ability to stand firm and speak out on things, especially when it pertains to my culture and how we do that. Now, where it falls on everywhere else, at least the least I can do is speak up.
Right.
So that's the first part of it. The second part of it is having to go with them. You know what I'm saying? Like literally lead and making sure that I'm in those spaces, making sure that I can be a part of certain conversations when they're being had. I had the opportunity to go with my VP to APAP in New York. And that was because I was telling, you know what I'm saying, my boss, like, I just want to learn how, my VP chooses shows. I want to see it through his eyes. I want to learn. I want to understand. And she went to bat for me because of that. And I got to go and I did exactly that. I learned, and I also got to give him insight on, this will be good because, but I also learned from his eyes, okay, this could be cool, but are people going to show? And when we put money into bringing someone here, we can't just go off of Pookie and them said that they gonna show up and bring a family. You got to bring something that you're going to get a return on because you're putting money in it.
That
is why
go ahead.
that is why the back end data is so useful.
Yeah.
So when you see these shows happening, please attend.
Yes.
Because it's going to impact what future shows exist.
Don't just attend. Pre-sale might be the most impactful way of showing,
and that's not 2 weeks before.
Yes,
or a day before.
Yeah. So, but those are some issues that we're currently even. Like you talking about OPA. It's not just OPA that goes through, especially with certain demographics, i.e., us, in markets like this, right? So those are the things that I think we have to start sharing as we learn in these organizations with our people and say, hey, you guys, y'all want Omaha to grow. Y'all want to see things like Hip Hop Lab grow. We have to show them that we want these things prior to the day of the show, the same way you picked your outfit.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And it's like, but having real conversations and really telling people like, no, this might be the most vital piece to continuing, because we can't continue on a whim of y'all might show, y'all might not.
Right. And we with that, we understand that not everybody has disposable income, right? However, we will spend our money on what we want to spend our money on, right? So it's just like, while we're voicing on one hand, there ain't nothing to do here, because I swear to God, if I see somebody else on Facebook say, there's nothing to do, there is something to do here, okay? But we can't say there's nothing to do here, things are happening, and when they're happening, you're calling 10 other people, are you going? How much was that ticket?
Who all over there?
And
we're not gonna do that.
Add a layer, we also can't then go to places that don't really want you there, where you're paying $20 and $30 and then complaining about event that we doing that costs $15.
Yeah.
We cannot do that.
Or free.
Or free.
Oh my God.
We can't do it. I'm sorry. And y'all going every week.
It's
to complain about music.
I'm
gonna leave my rant. I'm gonna leave my personal rant alone.
It's so wild. You know what I'm saying? But going back to like the OPA front, because this was this experience that did happen. When DC Young Fly came, when we first announced it, when I tell you it was like 700 something shares.
It went crazy.
It went ridiculous.
I think it hit 1,500 at toward the end. Yeah, it was nuts.
Like the shares for that thing. So we're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a great sold show. For months, it went crickets. People were buying a ticket here and there. So they're like, we don't know what to do, because like people aren't buying the tickets. Boom, boom, boom. But I said, I promise y'all, and we had to keep, me and other members of our team who know our community were like, wait till the week of.
This a DOS.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally.
Day of show.
Wait until the day of show. And literally the day of show, it was a packed house.
Yes.
But that, for people like you said, that whole disposable income comment is true. Like, no, you can't. You may not always be able to buy it right then and there, but I firmly believe that money is not the barrier that people think it is. It's interest. If
Absolutely.
you're that interested in it, you're going to get something. You're going to get it quickly.
For sure.
Especially if we give you a deadline and tell you, oh, now you can't get it.
Yep.
Because, oof.
And back to the educational piece about it too. It's like, I think our community has been tainted by certain behaviors of specific promoters, right?
True.
And they don't understand that, okay, again, example, DC Young Fly, right? You're seeing these posters, you're seeing people broadcast it. You got one person saying, oh, I'm bringing it. You know how the little fake lies go, right? But it's being housed under Omaha Performing Arts as a rental, right? So you get a lot of people that don't want to act on it because they're scared. Oh, I'm going to buy a ticket. And then when I show up, somebody's going to come out and be like, oh, well, they weren't able to make it. You know what I mean? So educating our community on, hey, when you see a show is happening, if you see that this venue is attached to it or this person is attached to it, expect that it's going to happen. You know what I mean? If you want to be leery about other stuff, yeah. But just be aware.
Also, is this thing on Omaha? Please make sure when you buy tickets for Omaha Performing Arts that you go to ticketomaha.com, not orpheumtheater.com. Thank you.
Yes.
When the Boyz II Men came, my Boyz II Men tickets were $300. No, they were not.
Come on. And are you really going to pay $300?
Some people do because they're going to orpheumtheater.com because it comes off as a website that is where seats and everything. And then that happens all the time. So again, ticketomaha.com for all things at the Highlands.
Dear Omaha, when you see something put on by the organization, go to the organization's page.
Yes.
Let me just speak in general because I see that with the funny bone, and I saw my homegirl get gypped out of paying 3 times the ticket price, and they told her at the door that's not a real ticket.
I did see that,
and that is.
And I said, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, there's not a real ticket, and our tickets was only this. That's not real, and Omaha, and this is for the world. Go to the venue site, the actual venue, and site. Don't go nowhere else first.
Yeah. If you don't know the venue, read
the flyer. I'm dead serious.
Legit. No, dead ass. And to make up that clarity as well, or to make it even more clear, for Highland Center and for the Orpheum Theater, Ticket Omaha. For Steelhouse, Ticketmaster.
So ticketomaha.com. Make sure you put .com on that.
Ticketomaha.com for Highland Orpheum and Ticketmaster for Steelhouse shows.
Yep.
Absolutely. And you said Steelhouse, so I gotta ask, who are these acts? I did see Jeezy, which Jeezy is coming with, or he came. A few months ago?
He's coming.
That was a great show, and he is coming. Because I live down the street, I'm always driving past, and I'm like, "Ooh, what's happening?" I'm like, "Don't know. Might be before my time."
So all I can say is this, because I can't say much because I don't book the shows. These acts that are coming have audiences, and it reflects in the report. It's in the city. So they we're not booking them if they're not going to be sold. Right. And some of them have lines around the building.
And you guys hear that?
So they're being tickets are being bought.
Yes.
Seats are being acquired. Yeah. Drinks are being bought, and fun is being had.
And unfortunately, we've tried to let's try it out in Steelhouse with some of our audiences, and you're only at 15% capacity.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's a hard sell. So people, if you want to see these things, we got a show, and we got to buy early.
And you guys obviously proved your point with Jeezy when he was at Baxter. So kudos on that.
Listen, and it's funny because some people are like, is it really his? Because the way that this show is titled, it doesn't sound like it's him. It sounds like it's a cover show, but it's him. I can confirm it's like Jeezy's something playlist tour, concert tour, but it is him. So it is. So I saw those questions a lot on Facebook. Like it is him. But yes, like
what day?
I know.
July 18th.
July 18th.
Okay, thank you, because I didn't know.
Only reason I remember because I went to go buy me and Babe tickets, and he was like, 2 days after your due date, shawty. And I was like,
he ain't no. He was like, no. He said, my baby need to be rested.
One of us can go.
Right. I'm gonna go on your behalf.
Y'all got to fight that one.
No.
It's all good, man. But definitely, Aaron, I will say, I appreciate everything that you have going, especially with working with the organization this large and making sure that people that look like you, people that come from the places you come from, are able not only to have a place to go, but to have a voice and a say-so of the things that will be places for them to go.
Yeah.
So, as a council member of the Hip Hop Lab Council, I'm looking forward to more meaningful engagement, and whether it not just be critique. I don't believe in just critiquing. I tell you want to know if somebody knows something, they'll give you advice, not just a critique. So, but more meaningful engagement from all of us on the council, and really leaning on us so that we as a community can make this thing go.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So it's not a lean on Aaron. It's not a lean on your supervisors. It's this has to be communal. And the more ownership we have of it, the more stronghold it's going to have on the community. So we're looking forward to it. We appreciate Omaha Performing Arts even, recognizing and giving the time today. And I tell people sometimes it ain't regardless of the reason.
Yeah.
It's here. So let's make it go.
For sure.
So we pray for your fortitude in there.
Appreciate it, man.
Keep pushing. We out here definitely need it. Have been wanting to get in spaces, and you're in a space to where you can now start to affect change. So and bring in the people that's gonna affect change. I swear to God, they not ready for D-Prosper. I swear to God. But good.
We're learning very quickly. You know what I'm saying? But he's super cool. That man is so knowledgeable, and he's done so much work and continues to do so much work. So for me to just learn from him, to see all that he got going on in New York, God, like I'll be up there in a couple weeks, and he invited me to a show that he's doing for Pride. Like this man has his hands in a bunch of different things, and it's truly is a blessing. And something that you said, and I'll wrap up here. Like coming here 5 years ago was the best decision I could have ever made. Because I got the room to grow. I found healing, repaired, familiar relationships, as well as learned more about myself. And I get to be a part of the growing change that's happening in our city. Like I was listening to something yesterday morning about, purpose is being tied to problem solving. What problem were you sent here to solve? And I truly believe my job at OPA right now is to help solve a problem as it pertains to community engagement, as it pertains to cultural enrichment. And, to be here to be able to do that, I know I'm on an assignment, and I'm grateful for that because I've also been able to thrive and be recognized in a way that I've never been before. So, it's cool. Omaha, you all right? No, I'm just playing. Omaha always be my home for sure. But right now I'm in a great space of growth and transition and change, but it's a good evolution.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. It's amazing.
We're excited to go and grow with you and grow with this city. Y'all better get the real estate now.
No joke.
Y'all better get your ass here, cuz. But yeah, man, we appreciate you coming through, brother. Where can we find, I'm going to say, OPA, Hip Hop Lab, and then where can we find you?
All right, so you can find us on our website at o-pa.org, on all social, Omaha Performing Arts, which is Facebook. Ooh, that was real southern of me. Facebook. Ooh.
I was about to say,
damn, you been in Atlanta. You been down in Atlanta too, my folks.
Right,
Damn, folks.
I know it's not a thing, but I'm gonna say it really weird anyway. I'm half Mississippi, and my whole father's side is from Mississippi, so that's probably where it came from. Yeah, Facebook. And then Instagram, OPA Performing Arts. And as far as me, you can find me, Facebook, Aaron Darrell Gregory, and on Instagram, Aaron Darrell Groups.
And Hip Hop Lab.
Hip Hop Lab,
do they have a
yes.
special page?
We do have a website. Not a website. We have a page on our website. So if you go to o-pa.org/learn and engage, you will instantly see all of the engagement programs that we have there. And Hip Hop Lab is actually the first one.
Amazing.
Gotcha. Man, we definitely appreciate you coming through.
Yes,
it's been a joy. We'll have to dig some more conversation. We might have to do that just later so that we separate.
Yeah.
And be like, y'all don't tune in. Don't tune in to part 2, Job. Mind your damn business.
That's Darrell.
We bring it Darrell from the tip, from the crooked letter out on that one with a blend of ATL in New York. Not playing. But yeah, man, we appreciate it, man. Make sure y'all tune in. We glad y'all here with Streets A&R, man. You can follow us everywhere at Streets A&R. That's Streets A&R. We're on everything but Apple, man. We appreciate everything that y'all bring. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share, watch, comment. Stop commenting me. Hey, just a reminder. That's me replying, firing your ass up. I ain't playing with y'all. I'm with it. YouTube comments, I'm with it. Stop playing with me.
Funny.
I'm on them.
I love it.
So them comments don't represent C unless I say they do.
Oh.
It's just me. Deal with it.
Y'all know I'm coming at you hot if I'm saying something.
She gonna start at this C and boom, it's on. We definitely appreciate all the support from everybody, man. Make sure y'all tune in. Stay hip to what OPA has going on, and definitely stay hip to what Hip Hop Lab is going on.
Absolutely.
This season 2 is already shaping up to be immaculate, man.
Yeah.
We can shout out one because it's already promo, right, Robert?
Yeah.
So we got,
Robert
for those that
Glasper.
don't know, Robert Glasper is coming to Omaha, Nebraska.
Yes, sir.
And if you don't know, you better learn quick. I hope he bring his friends.
For real. Well, no, Robert Glasper is coming in September, and our first culture talk will be featuring Robert Glasper.
Oh, that's
Yeah, man. That's going to be exciting for the music heads, for the people who love music, not hip hop. People who love music. Exactly. That is exciting. Yes. So we appreciate it. We can't wait to see what all unfolds, man. We going to get up out of here, man. It's your host, Giddy Jicky with it.
And it's your girl, C.O.B.
And thank you to our guest, Aaron, man. We out of here.
Peace.
The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast.